All right, so right now, guys, we're going to work on. This is an older version of NCAA football. This is NCAA football 2004. And if you do a lot of texture modding, you'll see that over the course of the years, EA Sports has sort of changed up how they make their textures and their layouts and all that sort of thing. So some of the stuff that you see for Madden 08 won't necessarily work for like NCAA 04. You may have noticed in some of my videos I talk about sleeve textures. Well, in NCAA Football 2008, the sleeve texture is built right into the jersey texture, so there's some like differences that you'll see. But what we're going to talk about now, and the reason I bring that up is because on the helmet here for Penn State, you can see it's just the plain white helmet with a blue stripe, but specifically we're looking at the ear holes on the helmet. Now, the college football games, I believe 2004 and before, it might even be 2005, you have to have the ear hole on the actual texture itself, right? So what that means is if we make this helmet right here, and I'll just make a navy blue, hopefully as close to Penn State's as I can. So I'll just make this, and I'll color the helmet this color, and we'll import this, and we'll just see as a test how this looks. So I'm just going to put this on the desktop, export it there, and then I'm going to bring it into the texture loading thing here. So helmet, Control X, and now where's my loaded thing? Here we go. So I'll paste it in here, and then I'm going to replace this address with this navy blue helmet, and what we'll see is that the ear hole that's here now will be gone because we got rid of that spot on the texture. So the way the old games worked is the ear hole and any sort of anything on the helmet, like rivets or anything like that, that's all built right into the helmet texture, okay? So what that means we have to do is we need to account for that when we're making our helmet designs. So let's go ahead. We're going to change, we'll just get right into how to do this here. So what I'd recommend you do, and I'm just going to walk you through this whole thing, this is the helmet template that I told you to download from Football Idiot. All the layers are right here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to take this Penn State helmet, we're going to drag it right in here, and then we're going to fit this to the size of my helmet template here, so 1024. And that'll scale, and then we'll use the alignment tool to get it lined up exactly where we want it. So now we have our alignment, it's all good to go there. And something I want to point out here is this part of the helmet right here, where you can see the Nike logo. In the older games, and I think it's in some of the newer ones, I can't remember exactly, but if there's a Nike logo here, this spot is actually mapped to go onto the team shoe. So what should have happened here, as you can see in the bottom of my player's shoe here, this navy blue streak, that's because on my blue helmet that I made, I don't have a spot. Remember, this is what it looked like, right? So I don't have a spot for that Nike logo, so this blue part here just got put on my cleats. So when you're working with these older games, you need to account for that, because otherwise it's just kind of a blue rectangle on there. So anyway, so I grabbed the white off the helmet here. I'm going to color in this blue stripe so it doesn't interfere with our coloring later on when we're editing this texture. So we're basically going to use this as a background layer, this white helmet. And the reason I chose Penn State for this is because basically they have a white helmet. It's going to be a nice background for our template. If we picked a team with a different color helmet, the template obviously wouldn't be very good because we would have to, whatever colors we colored over it would be modified by the base layer, which is this Penn State helmet. So anyway, you can see that the stripe now is a different color than the rest of the helmet. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do Control A to select everything, Control C to copy, and I have my layer selected here. I'm just going to Control V a bunch of times and keep pasting it on there, and that'll set the opacity to how we want it, okay? So then we just finally hit new layer on there, and now we've got a nice template. You can see the ear holes are still here, so we essentially have what we want. Now, for the helmet color, we need to move our helmet base layer here, and I would even just name this like base layer so you know what it is. And the helmet color, then we should do multiply and put it right above here. And now you can see that we've got our helmet texture over our helmet color over top of our base layer texture. So what you'll need to do, and I'll save you some of the going through every single step of this, but you're going to want to take your helmet color layer and use the erase tool, the eraser up here, to get rid of the color over top of the bumpers on the helmet, right? Because your bumpers typically aren't going to be the same color as the helmet. Usually the bumpers will be white or something like that. So I'm just going to do a really quick modification of this. It's not going to be anything spectacular. It's not going to look great. But if you're going to use this as a long-term template, then I'd recommend you take a little bit of time and make this look how you want it to look, because obviously you want your stuff to look good. But anyway, here's our template right now. So let's go ahead and just put since it's a Penn State helmet, let's put a single white stripe on there. So I click the single stripe layer. I'm just going to make it a white stripe. And now I'm going to file, export as helmet, which it went to my desktop because that's where the last one went. And let's go ahead and close my thousands of windows, drag this onto here. And now I'm just going to change the address from this plane. Okay, I goofed up my recording again, which I gotta stop using the S button. S key is a hotkey to stop my recordings. But anyway, so what you can see here is I changed that texture so that it has the blue helmet with the ear hole in it, and the white stripe still, and yeah. So the thing with this is, though, it gets pretty easy once you have this base layer texture, right? So you want to make sure your base layer is at the bottom here, and this AAA and this base layer, they can really be one thing. So you want to have that, and make sure that your helmet color layer is in multiply mode, because if you have it set in normal mode, it's just going to be a flat texture, and it's not going to look good. It's going to look like it did on the other helmet that the one we worked on in the beginning of the video. So make sure this is on multiply, because like I said, it'll kind of multiply with the base layer, which is white. And when you multiply anything with white, it's just the color that you have selected. So now we've got the ear holes. I cleaned off this little section here so that I could have the bumper sticking through. On this side, I didn't clear off that section, so you'll see on the actual helmet itself that the bumper is only halfway done. You see, this is the side that I cleared off the blue part for, and this is the side that I didn't. So you can see that that is there. That's what that rear bumper is for. And this rectangle in the front here is dictated by this rectangle right here. Okay. So also the Nike swoosh here, you see it's navy blue swoosh, and since there's nothing else in this area here, it got rid of the blue rectangle that was on the shoes, and now we have a blue Nike swoosh there. So that's a nice little touch that you can put to your uniforms. If I was doing this for real, I would have made that Nike swoosh white, but just because black doesn't, or navy blue doesn't show up on black that well. But yeah, it's pretty simple once you get the hang of it. Something I would recommend is once you have your base layer done, so you have this base layer completed, I would do File and Save As. I wouldn't export, but I would save this as I would call it, I'm not going to do this myself because I already have this template, but I would call it NCAA 04 helmet. That way, when you're trying to make helmets for NCAA 04, you'll have this template available to you. You don't want to use the template like this with the ear holes on it for like newer Madden games, like Madden 08, for example, because this ear hole, not every helmet in Madden 08 has this same sort of ear hole, right? So it can look a little weird because you'll have like the ear hole texture like this, but Madden 08 doesn't use this style of helmet. Like they use just a flat texture like this one, and then they overlay the rivets and the creases and all that stuff on the helmet. So you can't really use this on, well, you can, but it just looks weird. So I wouldn't do this. If you're going to use Madden 08, you're just going to want to use the regular background and the helmet color like this, okay? But anyway, if you have any other questions, like I said, I would share this link, but I apparently am not allowed to share stuff on YouTube because this account's not verified or whatever, even though it's like 15 years old. But anyway, so if you have any questions, let me know. I'll be more than happy to help out. I enjoy doing it. And keep on getting after it. Like I said, it's a lot of fun, and I have hundreds, probably hundreds of teams made up in Madden from over the years. So, like I said, it's you'll enjoy it. Just keep working at it. And if you have any other questions, let me know. I'll be happy to help you out. All right, we'll see ya.